kid, for example, a child, it could be a child, and this child is telling you a lot of things, and the child is really talking about past lives. You could have a child who has just started talking. The child has just started talking. In that tender age, the child is already talking about past lives. They're already talking about things that you do not even believe that child already knows. But on a very spiritual level and soul level, they actually already know, because those children in physical form, in those physical bodies, they look young in physical form, but their souls are very old. You know what I mean? That's why they're telling you certain things that you do not believe they can even know at that age. Even sometimes the way they behave or the way they carry themselves at that tender age, you're going to see a child is 5 years, but they're acting like they are 15 years old, or they're acting like they're 10 years old. Even sometimes they're developing and growing very, very, very fast. You know what I mean?
Hulkster's getting his love in this morning.
When you encounter those individuals and they're telling you things that seem to be out of this world, you cannot relate in each other. Even sometimes they're mind twisting. You don't even know where do they get these concepts, and they've got a very strong conviction on those things that they're telling you or they're teaching you. Then you had better know that you're dealing with an old soul. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between the chosen ones and old soul and old souls. So the chosen ones, like I've said,
get rid of your face bogies.
They just have this recent wisdom,
there
recent
you
knowledge.
go.
They know about the churches, they know about
there
the
you go. It's got to be washed anyway, isn't it, boy?
Probably 200, 300, maybe something 400 years ago. But all souls are dealing with
all
things
happily fed,
thousands and thousands
watered,
and thousands of years ago. You know what I mean?
Been running about, have you?
These old souls
all had the zoomies this morning to get warmed up. I've turned the heating off now, so let a bit of steam on the windows, stop the window peeker out the back, because Lola caught her out.
So that has been the third one. You're going to differentiate between the chosen one and another soul.
Yeah, I keep seeing videos, so I thought I'd share this one.
Which is very, very uncommon, and they've got very,
yeah.
very knowledge about a lot of things.
It's all Christian led videos that I keep seeing, saying God's punishing Mecca and blah 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 blah, and this and that, and so I thought I'd take the opportunity to share a live stream of the Kabbalah, just to prove that it's bullshit. As you can see, there's nothing going on in Mecca, just their normal daily dua, prayers, whatever.
There are some chosen ones who are actually into material wealth. You know, they like to be flashy a bit. You know, they like to wear these gold chains.
Something different.
They will have a certain type of type.
And what have I got in the background while I'm listening to this and watching that live?
So that's when we know that actually we are dealing with a young soul. Now, an old soul is a person who is a very simple person. So they may not really care about the cars they drive. They may just know that, okay, if I get into this car, I'll always get to my destination. If I sleep in this house, I'll still have a normal bed, I'll have a normal sleep, and they can always wake up the next morning like anybody else. You know what I mean? So the two people, you can differentiate them, all souls, because they've got these old souls and ancient souls.
So an elder speaking knowledge. Talking about old souls and chosen ones.
You know what I mean? So they're more material people, you know what I mean? They're materialistic a little bit, you know what I mean? They may sometimes flash their new watches, they may sometimes
watching that.
They like to boast about whatever they have achieved in this lifetime on this planet. But the difference is that the old souls do not do that. So I don't know an old soul. And usually even sometimes you can find
I can see sunlight shining in there on that. So it's not raining there, is it?
So sometimes they're flashing their stuff on camera or for other people to see and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the difference between the two of them.
Like I said, it's only been weather warfare going on in that area after what was going on in Ukraine. But now the theatre of war's switched to the Middle East. It's all sort of started targeting that area with weather warfare and weather manipulation, trying to freak out the Muslims like they tried to freak out the Russians.
So sometimes you may find an old soul in a very simple house in their basement.
So it's all manipulation by
in their simple form, whatever, you know. But a chosen one,
NATO Christians, shall we say,
you will find them that the two of them,
who have that technology
Miss
to interfere
Cheryl
with the jet
says,
stream
no problem for me. So that's
and
most
pretend
likely
they're
to show
God.
you are no soul as well, most probably.
If you see what I'm pointing at.
You're not very much connected to material wealth. You're not
Because by them
attached.
messing
Yes,
about with it all,
you can manifest these things because you've got that wisdom and knowledge to manifest that material wealth into your
sooner
life.
or later,
But it's not something that actually, it makes
they're
you a
going to
different
suffer the
person because you're driving
consequences,
a
aren't
certain
they?
car or you're living in a certain house or whatever, you're carrying yourself in a certain way. It doesn't mean a lot for you. But for the chosen ones, some of them, like I've seen them online, and you guys already know that I don't really mention a lot of these things. I don't mention people's
You have
names
to put up
or
with the
characters on my
adverts,
channel.
obviously,
But I've seen
but
some of them who are actually into wealth and all that kind of
it's
stuff.
all
They
to
like to show off
disrupt
and all
any
this kind of, they
learning,
like this
isn't
kind
it?
of flashy lifestyle and everything. You know what I mean? They're doing what they're doing in their own way,
If you see
helping
what
people
I'm
in one way or
saying.
the other, but at the same time, they're too flashy. They're
So
very
this
much
is how I'm
into
waking up
material
today.
wealth and stuff like that. But the old souls, they focus on spiritual abundance. They are very people who are spiritual abundant. They already know who they are.
What are
That's
we
not the
on?
first thing. So they've got nothing
1302
to prove. You know what I mean?
GMT.
Because if they want to prove you, they will put you to that level whereby you may even stop talking. You may sometimes
I'm
come
going to
around
make
and try to
myself
show them
something
that
to
you're
eat in a
all that
minute.
you're all this. But they're just watching you from a distance and letting you be. They're just not coming around. They are not competitive. So they're not coming around to compete with you. You're driving a Bentley, then I'm driving a Toyota, things like that. They are going to let you be in your own place, in your own way, and they're not going to judge you. You know what I mean? So that's when you know that you're an old soul. If you're a person who is not very much into material wealth, you focus on the spiritual wealth. You focus on spiritual abundance. You do not focus on material abundance. You know what I mean? Then, the fifth
So
one,
old souls
that was the
focus
fourth
on
one. The fifth one,
spiritual abundance,
how to know that you're an old soul. The difference between old souls and chosen ones is bravery.
not
An old
wealth,
soul
possession,
is a very, very brave person. Ladies and
and
gentlemen, an old
things.
soul, I've told you guys, you do not mess with this kind of individuals.
Because that's the Christian trap, isn't it?
They are brave to that extent whereby, for example, I'll give
That's
you
why
an
all your
example.
bills come in at Christmas.
And also can wake up in the morning. Let's give another example, something that you guys already know. Let's say, for example, you're a black sheep of the family. You've been abused.
And the
You've
black
been treated
sheep
a
of the
certain way.
family
Maybe
is
you've been defrauded or been
who?
raped or this and that.
Who?
There's things that have
Who?
happened to you in your childhood. You know what I mean? When you were as a kid, and
Not
you've been
spelt
seeing all these things, so you've been scapegoated all your life.
W-H-O,
You can decide
but
to get up
H-U.
one morning and walk out of your house without necessarily knowing where you need to go. Or
And the connection with Chatham is Who Marina, near where 3 of my sons were born.
Because
Simple as that.
not send you here and it's going to abandon you and desert you on the streets.
Nothing sinister
you are
there.
going to be taken care of in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? But the chosen one is a person who's they may have that heart.
So I've just got the kitchen to sort out today.
They're a little bit laid back. You know what I mean? So they do not.
Ground's too hard outside to dig any compost in,
So when you see the two of
so
them,
I'm not bothering with that
they are very, very
just
brave
yet
because
until it warms up a little bit.
You know what I mean? They are spiritually equipped with everything.
Then I'll quickly
You know what I
dig
mean?
out a bit,
I've told you guys that the universe, God will give
put
you
all the
biggest
grass
sword,
cuttings
this
under
biggest
the
sword.
earth,
So those individuals that got the biggest sword, most of the time they are going to use it if need.
cover it in
They're going to take out
topsoil
the sword and they're going to
and
slice
let
these
winter
bullets
break it
apart.
all down.
But most of the time they just choose not to do it. You know what I mean?
Ready
So
for the
those also
spring when
are
I
brave
can
people.
remove all that
And those
dirt
people at the same time, they are people who
and
do
put it
not
in
really
raised
recognize
grow beds.
authority. You know what I mean? Because their soul is very ancient, and most of the times, the people they're dealing with, it could be their boss or their landlord.
Yeah, quite a
or their
fascinating
manager,
thing.
their
I've never actually
supervisor,
seen
their
it
teacher in class.
live, so
They do not really. They
it's
respect
all
you.
learning to me, isn't
They
it?
take you. They carry you with respect and everything. They give you all respect, but they do not fear you. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But you may find a chosen one who does not have that same level of bravery. You know what I mean? So there are some chosen ones, like I've said, the young souls. They do not carry that same level of bravery. A chosen one who is a young soul may want to know, okay, if I get out of this house, I've seen them many times on my channel. Oh, you know what? I'm afraid to leave my house because I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I don't know what's going to happen with my children. I don't know what is going to. So an old soul is going to wake up one morning, open the door, and they are going to leave. And you are never ever going to see those individuals ever again in your life. And they are going to walk into the unknown. So I think it's 2 or 3 days ago, I've done a video about the journey into the unknown. So for most of you guys who have not watched that video, you can always
Yeah,
go back
if you
to
don't
this.
need to
It's
go
about
out,
2 or 3 days
don't
ago.
go out.
I did a video which is called
If
The
you know
Journey into the
something's
Unknown.
going on, there's a
So
setup going
those
on,
individuals
just
that
don't
wake up one morning and
participate
just
in
walk
it.
out into
Simple
the
as that.
unknown, they do not know where they are going. They do not know where they are going They don't know where they're going to sleep. They don't know what they're going to do with themselves, but on a very spiritual level, they know that each and everything they need is going to be taken care of. So those are the chosen ones who
Yep,
find.
so why worry?
Sometimes they're like nomads. You know what I mean? They may just skip from one house to another.
If you're struggling with keeping warm,
they just walk into a house and somebody
and someone's been a twat, sending you bundles and bundles of paper,
so those people, they also tend to be nomads.
And crap and plastic and trying to get in your head and freak you out, burn the fucking stuff. You got a free fire source. You got heat there, what you can live off. All you got to do is funnel the smoke out the window, innit?
So if you know a person who most likely is a nomad, you see them jumping from house to house, from country to country.
You can even fire up a barbecue with it in your garden. There you go.
And they don't have sometimes even the money, they don't have the resources, they don't have all the
use it to cook with.
But on a very spiritual level, they know that on their journey they're going to be taken care of. And normally that's the case, you know what I mean?
It's only come from trees, isn't it?
They reach, they tend to find somebody else.
Trees are fuel for the fire.
They move from there to another one, they don't find somebody who's going to move there from that place.
Use it to your advantage rather than
moving from place to place. Those people, they also tend to be nomads.
let it be a problem to you. It's only clutter, isn't it? You're only cleaning out dead wood that somebody else has fucking sent upon you. Use it. Just video that they've done it, and there you go, move on. Let it go. Use it as fuel for the fire, mate.
They want to know who is going to provide the next meal, where am I going to sleep tonight, or who is going to take care of me, and this kind of stuff. But the old souls, they're just waking up and going. And they do not need to know the details. So many times I've been telling you guys in my videos that
Get yourself a barbecue and you got a ready-made fucking breakfast out in your yard, haven't you?
Just wake up and go. You know
what I'm saying?
Wake up and go, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all perception, isn't it?
Each and every move you make on this planet, it has
That's how I'd do it.
orchestrated very carefully by the divine. So you have nothing to worry about. You know what I mean?
I'd say thank you very much for your gift. Now fuck off, ski with you, because this is what I'm doing with it.
People, sometimes they're equipped with, so we're talking about the all souls. All souls,
And you use it for fuel to cook your food. Why let it become a problem when it doesn't need to be? It's only mind games they're playing. So turn the mind games into something realistic. You're therefore taking the energy back and using it for your own benefits rather than their benefit, which is taking the power away from them, isn't it?
That is how you know an old soul and a chosen one, because an old soul, they have been equipped with these tools from the very moment they popped up in this planet. They have been equipped with the tools. They have everything they need on this journey.
I've never watched either of these streams, so it's all new. Well, I'm reacting, laying in my bed with my dog Pat.
Whenever they talk with you, or whenever you engage them, or whenever
We've all grounded.
coach you on something, or they teach you on something, you're going to start receiving a lot of
It's a bit parky on the soles of the feet, like I said out there, but solar energy replacing the negative energy, which is supposed to get me all worried and in a state of the person that I've been talking about just then, without dropping names. Because that's what they're trying to do here. Look, there's even a bit of colour coming in, look, little groups of people in blue, in yellow, in red, in green. It's not all in black and white there.
Because you know, sometimes what people don't understand is that
must be little groups of women, I should think,
you know what I mean? So most of the times we are involved with very
being swept around in the whirlpool. That's what it looks like to me, artistically.
But when you're with an old soul, you may come to them and you sit with them and you talk with them and they exchange something with you. A
little bit of aqua blue in there as well, look.
That you've spent tens of years.
Yeah, they've got to be women because they're all huddled together and sticking together, if you see what I mean.
Until you only one word. And it is going to break the whole puzzle, or sometimes fill up the whole puzzle, and the whole puzzle is going to be that's when you hear it's going to start.
Never seen before, so
that's what
quite enjoying it.
Is because, like I've said, it comes back to that ability. That
I can turn this one up if you see what I mean, the volume on this one up, but I'm listening to the other video at the same time.
They have got those inputs that they will sometimes figure out your life and tell you.
Little bit of remixing for you.
Listen, there's very big likeness because these individuals, on top of the healing abilities.
Let's just pop this in the cradle while I go and have a jimmy.
So sometimes you may come to them and they may just tell you something.
Sorry if you can't see it, but now you know what I'm doing it for.
Or last week you went to your grandmother.
Oh, one's just gone
yes, I went to my
a bit
grandmother.
spinny.
And they're going to tell you that, okay, your grandmother is most likely she gave you something to eat. Or is most likely she gave you something to drink.
Probably an advert coming up.
And they're going to say, yes, that's right what you said. And they're going to tell you, okay, you need to stop visiting your grandmother, and that's it. And from the very point forthwards, you're not going back to your grandmother.
They're trying to stop the Karbala one, so I'm just going to clear the cache on that stage.
At a very spiritual level that your problem has been caused by a certain individual. Just detach.
Because obviously they don't like me doing it this way.
That's how they heal those people. Sometimes you may also
not having no problems listening to the other video, am I?
You may be in their vicinity, they may give you a hug, or sometimes they may touch you, or
so we just clear the cache while I go and
just be around you, just be around them, things like that. And you're going to experience healing to a degree you've never seen before, just by being around them.
So the nature's call out.
Actually, I feel like I'm better, you know what I mean? Last night I visited this person, or yesterday I visited that person, I feel like I'm better, you know, your things are starting to open up. You're starting to see a lot of this job opportunity is coming in. You're starting to see a lot of relief. The stress is gone. The depression is gone. You're starting to experience healing. That is because you've engaged with an old soul. You know what I mean? It may not necessarily be the same healing abilities with the chosen one. The chosen one may have their own different healing abilities that they know, that they use on a daily basis to help people. But it's not the same energy with the chosen one, with an old soul. You know what I mean? So the two of them have got their own way of operation. The way they operate is not the same. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the difference as well between a chosen one and an old soul. So as I'm speaking these things, I want you guys to relate. Which one of those relate with you? Let us know in the comment section as well. I want to know which one are you. Are you an old soul or are you the chosen one? But remember again, I would like to continue clarifying that all old souls are chosen ones, but not all chosen ones are old souls. That one you need to put it in your head and just remember that, okay? Another thing I want to talk about, which is I think the seventh one, is we are going to talk about the loneliness. All souls, they tend to be loners. Now,
they
souls,
don't, do they?
Their journey, they spend a lot of that. They spend a lot of
wonder
time.
why?
You know what I mean?
Because you get the gift of seeing through the bullshit.
Developing their craft, taking care of themselves, taking care of their animals, their dogs, their family, things like that. But when you look at the chosen ones, who tend to be young souls, those chosen ones tend to have like this concept of wanting to be around people. They may have also their own long time. They want to be around.
Right, restarting the Kabbalah one.
The case that they're actually doing very well.
It's probably got something to do with the way I said it about the weather manipulation going on. Because it's all coming from naval ships, isn't it, in the Mediterranean and outside the Mediterranean, affecting those winds and weather systems. Because I've been watching it for ages.
But sometimes you may see these chosen ones, they are in and out of people. People are coming around visiting. There's a party. There's been something happening. They were there. They were that way. You know, they have been in a birthday party. There was a celebration. You may sometimes see them popping in and out of.
There you go. It's working fine again now.
But all souls, they struggle with that. Even sometimes to drag an old soul to an occasion or to a party, you may have to actually drag them by force. Otherwise, they're going to they will simply tell you they're not going to attend at some point. And they may even sometimes let you down. So most of the times when you're dealing with this kind of people, and you want to go, you want them to come. Yeah, come, you know, there's a wedding going on, there's a party here, there's a party there. They may tell you, okay, let me think about it. Give me some time, I'm going to think about it. And then they're going to call and tell you, hey, listen, I've decided not to come because I'm dealing with something in my garage, or I'm doing something in my garden, or I'm taking care of my animal. So they're going to actually let you down, and they're not going to come. But you may as well invite a chosen one, and the chosen one is going to show up at that occasion. You know what I mean? So they may usually get along with people. Although the both of them spend a lot of time alone, But it is also very difficult for an old soul to relate with groups of people. You know what I mean? They cannot do very well with groups of people because they are very, very much overwhelmed with energy. So sometimes you may see a chosen one, for example, who goes to the pubs. They may go to the pub and have a drink, or they may go to a different type of restaurant. People, even a concert, a place where actually there's a lot of people. But you cannot find an old soul in those places because those old souls, they are overwhelmed with energies. You know what I mean? Whenever they are around those places, they are completely drained. It's like, because I told you this guy, they've got a very healing energy. So sometimes when they're in those places, even people are subconsciously tapping into their energy without them knowing it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
In a group of people, and they walk away from
Well, while I'm caffeined up
or attending this meeting, they're feeling very drained.
and smoking too much, I might as well roll a long one, hadn't I? Which will be just a cigarette.
Most of the time they spend a lot of time recharging.
Because I'm having to zigzag at the moment, due to neighbour issues. Because it's an ignorant village I live in.
So an old soul, you cannot find them in the pubs. That is one place you will not find an old soul because they already know the energy that is associated with those kind of places.
I've seen what goes on in this village, as I've spoken to others about, so no, I'm not connected to any of that. But I've seen it.
But the chosen one can actually be in a group of people. They can go to a party, they can go to a pub, they can go for a drink, they can even sometimes...
I think they're a bit silly, really, because, you know, they're pulling up to places that are cameraed up.
So that's when you know the difference.
Drawing attention to themselves. You know?
Yes, an old soul is a chosen one, but not all chosen ones are all souls. So
as soon as they work it out, they say, oh, fuck, you little bastards, you've been trying to set us up. So that'll be the end of that.
A particular thing for some people in this collective, on this universe, on this planet. So that's where you know the difference. They are loners.
While the adults all watch on with their cameras.
Cannot relate with groups. They are alone, doing their own thing, taking care of themselves, recharging, and doing things.
And obviously, the crime for and the punishment for serving kids like that is going to be severe, isn't it? They relate with some groups of people. Because there's rules even in that.
The seventh one, I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about 9 different.
So those people are going to be cleaned out the area, I should think.
Self-healing. Now, this is what I want you guys to understand.
Which is why I'm probably getting all that shit and grief, because they assume that and that makes 4, and it ain't.
When I left the narcissist 3 years ago,
you know?
I was exhausted. I had gum disease.
No.
I'd already lost a couple of teeth. My body was aching. I had acne. I had problems with my gut.
That's why I keep myself to myself.
I remember visiting a doctor.
So I can't be associated with any of that bullshit while they try and set me up. Because it is a low-life Christian setup. And it's all centering around that building in the village.
But the rest of the things is history. We're talking about gum disease,
which is why I'm being called antisocial for not having anything to do with that said building.
Not like different types of medication, jumping in and out of psychiatrists, psychologists, therapy, those kind of things. I've not had even a session of therapy ever since I left a narcissist.
Because in their arrogance, like I said, it's they're not allowing for any other knowledge that's out there in the world and the ether to be shown, because it disproves their mental and spiritual trap to control the population. Remember the lyrics from the Crash song? School, army, church, corporation deal. Which is why the top of the tree in the UK is the head of the church. It's all
that's when
about
they will know,
control.
remember who they are. And that's when all this knowledge and wisdom is going to come in, because they've already been
And I'm a black sheep
embodying this
that
wisdom
won't
within them, within their DNA.
be
It was just a matter
intimidated.
of them getting activated. So the very moment they get activated, that's where all these things now start to come in. The knowledge, the wisdom, their life path and the purpose and everything is going to start coming to them naturally, without any help, without any doctors, without anybody. So there are people who self-heal, you know what I mean? But the chosen one may not have that capacity to self-heal themselves. So the chosen one sometimes
Getting what he's talking about now.
souls for healing, or sometimes the chosen one can rely on actually local medical methods of healing. They may sometimes go in therapy. They may be with psychiatrists. They may have a doctor every now and then checking on them, regular checks with the doctors and things like that. But an old soul, they heal themselves. All the old souls, you know, they will tell you that actually, regardless of whatever has been happening in their journey, in their lives, they have actually done the healing work by themselves. So they have not been able, they have not been helped, they have done everything by themselves.
Yeah.
And they have come to that full sense.
Don't need to rely on the state or its corrupt ways and religion.
So an old soul can self-heal, but the chosen one,
there you go.
Some of them actually, they rely on local methods, medics, you know, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapy, things like that to heal. But an old soul, they do that by themselves, so they are self-healing. The last one I was going to talk about, actually I think I have another one, I have an extra one. I want to talk about dating when it comes to all souls. Now, all souls, there are people who...
Yeah, they'll only go, old souls and chosen ones will only go for souls that resonate with them.
So if it's a woman, for example, let's give an example, a woman who is 20 and they're dating, so they're into dating. You may sometimes see them, they're attracted to dating men of older age. So they may sometimes date men who are twice their age. And they're very comfortable with that. So when you tell them about that,
5 Doors.
Of course they're going to stick an advert in that, because,
which played every band in the
well,
long drive to Gloucester. At Auto Trader, we know.
Let's just say flirting.
So they may sometimes date men
Let's
who are
just
twice
say
their age.
flirting at the shop.
And they're very comfortable with that. So when you tell them about dating their age mates, you know, for example, a woman is 20, she may not necessarily date another one who is 20. They may sometimes do it, but most of the times they are going to actually be attracted and be drawn towards older people, sometimes even people who are twice or even sometimes thrice their age. You may sometimes see a person who is 60 years, for example. The woman is 20 years and the guy is 60, and they are dating. They even have a family together. And that's how they feel comfortable, you know what I mean? They have got that attraction to people who are of an old age. Because I've told you guys, these are already old souls, they're ancient souls. So their souls are very ancient. And their souls are actually very, very much drawn to people who are older than them. So that's when you know that the difference between old soul and chosen ones. So ordinary chosen ones, they may sometimes go around and date people who are their age, or sometimes people who are younger. They may sometimes date. Me personally, very many times I've been dating like...
And it's got nothing to do with sexual preference. Make that perfectly clear.
I've dated sometimes people who are 10 years older than me, sometimes maybe 15 years older than me, when I was even younger, you know what I mean? So I've dated usually people who are older than me. So it is something which is very common with all souls. All souls, usually they will date people who are older than them for some reason, because they just feel that energy. It's like they match up with that energy very quickly. They will match up with older energies more than they will match up with younger energies, if that makes sense. So usually they will have some relationship here and there with people with their age mates, with their age groups and things like that. But it not always be the case. Most of their relationships, the real long relationship they will always have in their lives, they're going to be with old people. 10 years older, 5 years older, 6 years older, even sometimes 15 years older. You won't see a lot of these old souls, they're actually dating people who are older than their age. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the difference between the chosen people and all souls. So sometimes you see a lot of these chosen ones, they are very much into, they like dating maybe younger girls, or if it's a woman, she likes dating younger guys or things like that. Or sometimes people who go around their age mate, or maybe sometimes a year or two older, things like that. But an old soul is going to surprise you, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to find a couple, and you will be shocked. A woman
Good girl,
who is
Lola.
about 30 years and the husband is 60 years. And you think that, what is this woman doing with a 60-year-old man? Only for you to discover that that woman actually is an old soul. So they are only drawn drawn to that kind of energy because they feel like they can very much relate with those people.
I did even joke with my son about that type of thing. I said, yeah, I said if anything happened now, I'd probably get called funny names, but it's all legal.
It's because all souls, they like people to challenge them. You know what I mean? So they like people who are even sometimes emotionally mature.
But I'm not looking really.
It's like they want a challenge each and every single
So
day.
it'll be
That's what they're here for. So at the age of these days,
just a natural occurrence.
They're being challenged to do better.
I'm only having a laugh because I feel comfortable with myself,
That's another thing.
and
So
I
those
feel
people,
comfortable around
older
those people.
They believe the older people carry a different type of energy and a different type of wisdom and knowledge. You know what I mean? So they know that they are going to wake up every single day and they're continuously going to be challenged each and every single day to do better, to work more, to be brave.
If anything, it's sort of proving that I'm a normal person, isn't it? Well, he laughs, he feels comfortable in himself, he's, you know, to anyone outside that's monitoring, it's like, oh, he should be down on his knees and fucking, he shouldn't be this confident. What the fuck's going on? The more we do to him, the more it's fucking spurring him on to, how are we going to stop this guy? We've got to set him up again. Get him out of there, haven't we? And that's exactly what's going on. Because they can't control an anarchist.
They're all souls, but all souls are actually all chosen because they have come here. Either they
Anarchy. The law of 2 by 2.
They have chosen those paths themselves prior to reincarnation. Because those people, the reason why they call them all souls is because they have reincarnated. So their souls are dating back to ancients of time. You know what I mean? They've got very, very ancient souls. So those people at the same time, you may find it, their energy sometimes is very, very, very strange and intimidating. So, and also, has got this energy around.
I'm listening to this elder from a different culture for an obvious reason, because I have brothers from different mothers.
But sometimes people struggle to approach them, you know what I mean? So if a woman, for example,
so I'm interested in their culture and how they view
they like things about you.
Life.
Spiritually, or sometimes it's your body they like, or sometimes your intelligence, your emotional intelligence. But at the same time,
because we get on,
because your energy
and
everything you do about yourself, the way you carry yourself,
it causes a bit of jealousy within my younger family members, who come out with some disgusting crap sometimes, but it's like, it's just jealousy because they're not as close as...
So you guys have heard about things, for example, an old soul can only date...
Me and my brothers that go through the same things that I go through, they just don't get it.
You know what I mean? So that's why they find it very easy to
you know?
People that are in a very, very similar energy and frequency.
Well, you keep on with your EDL thinking.
You won't be surprised if an old soul...
That's the divide and rule trick. You shouldn't be divided and ruled. You should be learning.
They're watching you from a distance. They want to say something. Maybe there's a neighbor. There's a neighbor who lives in your vicinity, and they've got a crush on you. But at the same time, they cannot come around and put their point on the table. They cannot come around and tell you that, listen, I'm interested in you. I want to date you, or things like that. They feel that they're spiritually challenged each and every single day. They want to date you, but they're afraid about you. But at the same time, the chosen one is a person who doesn't really struggle with dates. Yes, they may struggle here and there, sometimes, but at the same time, it may be sometimes easier for them to get into a relationship. You know what I mean? So the chosen one can date easier than an old soul. I don't know if that makes sense. Even if it's at least for a short while, it can be, for example, 6 months or whatever, a year or something like that. They can actually get into a relationship with ease. But an old soul doesn't get into a relationship very easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they learn from history.
That's how you know the differences between the two of them. So they have got similar things that bring them together, similar characteristics and personalities.
Relationships are not built on lust.
Between the two of them, you know what I mean? The last one I want to talk about, this is a bonus one. So, about the difference between these people, the chosen ones and all souls. And this is this is something which actually sometimes causes something what they call spiritual ego. You know what I mean? So you guys have heard about something they call the spiritual ego. So an awakened all soul is a walking encyclopedia. These people, you do not know where they get their knowledge. You don't know what books they are reading. You don't know where they're getting their information, but they know. They simply know. You know what I mean?
So I don't get distracted by a pair of tits, unlike the younger ones.
Something you have struggled
A
with
pair
for
of
a very long
tits
period of time to understand. You
only
have
look
spent
good
all your life
when
with
there's a
people,
baby
you
hanging
don't
off of
come
them.
around you don't come around them and meet them. In 1 minute or two,
That's what they're
they'll
for,
break down something they've been trying to decode
not for
for
grown
almost
men
10,
to
15
suckle
years, even
on.
20 years. They will just tell you something, that is what is happening. You can forget about the other one, that is what is happening. That's why you need to know. So you got come
That just means that you
them,
haven't
and they are
grown
going to
up
point to
enough,
you the exact direction
and you
need to
still
go.
miss
So
your
they'll tell you,
mother,
okay,
don't it?
listen, you've been doing as you're speaking. Actually, as you're speaking, because these people they are very mysterious as well.
That's
why
why
they call them
UK
mysterious.
women
Because
seem
when
to
you come to
say
them, for
that
example, they will tell you,
UK
listen,
men suck.
I've been hearing what you've been saying. When you're talking to them, they're very straight.
In other words, they're little boys, not men.
They will take time to listen. They'll just be very humble. They're very humble people, and they'll be watching you. You talk, and when you're talking, they are constructing everything. Now they're understanding all these patterns. They're seeing where you're coming from. They've already seen why you're saying the things you're saying, what is going on in your life, who did what, and who did this, and who did that. Where did the problem come from? By the time you finish with the conversation, they're only going to tell you one word. And it's going to be the answer to the entire conversation. It doesn't matter if you've been speaking to them for 10 hours, 5 hours. They will be listening. They will be taking their time to listen to you. And they're going to end their conversation with only one word. And that word is going to break down and decipher the entire conversation what you've been talking about. And you're going to leave that place very, very satisfied. You will not even know how do they know.
Because they watch all your internet use.
They don't know your,
Of course we know how they know.
They don't know which schools you went to. They don't know your religion.
It's called spying by the government.
And one word is going to decipher the
So they can work out an angle to bring you under control. But anarchists, it's a lot different kettle of fish.
You ask them, how do you know these things?
Very unpredictable
But they know. You know what I mean? And most of the
to
time,
certain
if not even 99%, 100%,
right-wing or left-wing
most of the
governments
times,
who
they're right.
want to control.
You go around trying to challenge them.
Religion
You
is
say, oh,
no
this person
different
has
to
said this,
politics.
you know, they will say that and they will say this. And you go in circles and they're just waiting for you to come back to the point. You will go in circles and you go in circles, you come back to the point and you're going to discover that actually
Going in
what they talked
circles,
about
right?
2-3 years ago, that was the truth. So they may come to you, for example, and they will tell you something today. We'll give an example, real case scenario. So they will come to you and tell you something.
So I'm just going with the vibe and the flow of
And
the
you have your doubts.
video.
I don't really doubt that. This is what is going on, because the knowledge, the wisdom is very, very too hard to believe. We're talking with them.
While topping up on my
The
vitamin
information they
C.
have and the wisdom they have is almost impossible and too hard to believe. They will tell you something and you walk away. And you guys will pass separate ways. You will go your way, they will go their way. And you will go in circles trying to understand. You will be thinking about something they have told you. This person said something 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago. And you're trying to challenge them to see, is that thing what they told you the truth? Only for you to come back to the point and actually find out that actually whatever they told you many years ago, it was the truth. So those are guys who know something in an instant. They do not know how they know, but they know. You know what I mean? Because all these things are very, very subconscious. They're very subconscious things. So they know these things on a very spiritual and a very soul level, very subconscious level. The things that even sometimes the human mind cannot comprehend. And even sometimes
As for the person that keeps tampering with my cameras and my back door and stuff like that, gaining illegal entry while I'm distracted or out.
He's so strange, he's so weird, he's so this,
Yep.
he's so that. You know what I mean?
That's coming to an end as
Give me a
well.
second, I'm coming back. I think there's a knock on the door.
See, someone got sent to distract him while he was making his video.
So they tend to know things that other people, the human mind insight normal human mind cannot comprehend. How do you know this? I don't know.
Well done to
Who
that
told you
man for
this?
staying
Nobody.
focused.
Where did you read this from? Which books are you reading? Where are you getting your knowledge?
Seeing it
I'm
for
not
what
telling
it
you anything,
is.
but they know. So if that makes sense. So those individuals, they are working encyclopedias. They do not have books they are reading. They are not readers. A few of them, they like to read a few books here and there. They only read the books which is like teaching them something new or something adding on to their knowledge, you know what I mean? And they like to read a lot of spiritual things. So when you see a lot of these old souls, they like to read books that are related to spiritual knowledge. So things that probably are, are enhancing their knowledge or things like that. But most of the times, they do not pretty much relate with books. They do not read a lot, so they don't like a lot of reading, you know what I mean?
That's right.
All souls, they don't go to school. So many of them, they drop out of school. They spend some time in school and they're like, it's not working for them. So you see them, they're just dropping out of school.
Spiritual knowledge.
School dropouts, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
that's
how
why
we know that
he's...
we're dealing with an old soul. But chosen people,
Yeah,
yes, they
it
know
was
some
that
things, they will
simple
teach you
all
some
along.
things here and there. But it may not be difficult to understand where they're coming from, you know what I mean? Because some of them, like I've said, they're young souls. So they know some stuff on a very surface level. Yes, they know some other things which are
Hopi,
more complex, but somewhere
Islam,
relate to them. But when you're talking about an old soul,
Sanskrit,
is a person, you will always
it's
forever
all
misunderstand those
part of a
individuals
bigger
because you do not
revelation.
know what they're saying, how are they saying it, where they're getting it from, and everything about them. They are
All
simply
you have to
working
do is
encyclopedias.
listen to the wisdom of
Sometimes you may
elders
find them
to work it all out.
controversial. Some people, they want to call them controversial because sometimes people, they're like, they don't understand you because they are trying to understand you, they're trying to focus, and then you tell them something, but they cannot get it in their head because it is not sinking in. It's like you're teaching them, telling them, this is what is happening,
Right,
this is what
because
you do,
of
this is what you do.
religious
They know that it's not sinking in.
programming.
It's just, there's this shell, there's something like a shell in front of you, and they know it's not sinking in, but what they're telling you is the truth. But your subconscious is going to pick up one thing, what they've told you, and you're going to see that thing actually manifest in some years to come or some months to come. You're going to see, oh, these people, they told me the truth. And remember, that's why sometimes and also, you see people
That's
calling
why I
you.
back away
So they will call you, for example, after a year or after 2
from
years.
man-controlled
And they will tell you that, hey, listen,
religions.
2 years ago, you told me something about my father or something about my mother. In that time, it didn't make a lot of sense. I didn't understand where you were coming from. I didn't understand what you were saying. But now, they're remembering what you told them. You know what I mean? And they're saying, okay, they're confirming actually what you told them is the truth. So that's when you know that you're dealing with an old soul. Those people, they know a lot of things. But again, you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, I do not say these people, they're perfect. Everybody has got their own flaws in their own way. They have got their own addiction. Sometimes they're very, very highly addicted people. Sometimes they can get addicted to a certain drug or a certain behavior or whatever. But they have got their own flaws at the same time. But at the same time, they know how to work on those flaws. You know what I mean? So they are. It's like what do they call it? They are working on themselves each and every single day to better themselves. You know what I mean? And also the people around them. So they are not perfect. But at the same time, they're very different. You know what I mean? They're
Being
very
careful how I pick
controversial. Some
up.
people
So
want to say
up.
controversial. The people don't understand them. They call
Oh,
them
hold
controversial.
still. Making
Some
my
people say some people completely misunderstand them.
ankle hurts a bit there,
Some people
buddy.
even hate them because of their knowledge and their wisdom. Some people will be like, why does this person seem like they know everything? How come that whenever I'm struggling with something, they're the ones with the answers? They're the ones who know where I need to go,
Oh,
what I
hello,
need to
little
do,
baby
this and this. So
girl.
sometimes that's where the thing comes in. So sometimes you see a lot of times in this spiritual community,
Hello, Marnie
you have something
Moo.
what they call the spiritual ego. You know what I mean? Because sometimes old souls, they challenge other chosen ones in so many different things. And sometimes these chosen ones, because they don't understand where these people are coming from. They have got
There's a little
their souls are
cluster of
different,
pink
and
moving
they
around the
actually do not
Kabbalah now.
understand where are these people coming from. How can they know this?
Like I said, it's
And
different
probably
groups
chosen
of
one, but
women.
they don't know this. You know what I mean? So that's why you
Men
see a
aren't
lot of
going to
this
dress in pink and
spiritual people coming into play, and you see a lot of
different
jealousy.
colours in
Sometimes
that
you see a lot of them
belief,
who
are
start
they?
to come around and talk about another chosen one who is doing this.
If you
Even
see
about
what I mean.
these fights, sometimes fights, I don't know if I can call them spiritual
But
fights or
it's
stuff like that, but
becoming
there's
a bit more colourful
sometimes
as
these
the
things that
day's
come up
going on.
between chosen people, and you see them, they look like they're fighting each other, but actually, on reality, it's just the ego. The ego kicks in. A lot of these people in the spiritual community, they also have got something what they call the spiritual ego, and this thing is called. This thing is caused by sometimes understanding people that they know something or they can do something that actually another chosen one cannot do. You know what I mean? So there are people on
Got
different
the
paths,
door shut to
and
keep
sometimes they fail
heating.
to understand their
So
paths. You know what I
I'll
mean?
have
But
to
you see,
open it in a
also, there are
little
people who
bit
like they
because
share
I'm
their own lane.
smoking.
So it's the reason as why you don't see a lot of channels with all souls. They're coming around and bombarding somebody with negative
It's the
comments or this and
hyperactivity
that,
from
and
the
they're fighting
coffee.
this one and they're fighting, and they're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
I'm
So, for
getting
example,
ready
me, I cannot
to
run on my channel
have a
and I will
little
start
potter
to
about
bombard another channel because they're
after
doing
I
something or they are saying something which
wake
I
up
don't actually
properly.
agree with. So most of the time,
Takes
you
me a
see
few
a lot
hours
of these
these
also
days.
they'll just step back and watch everything from a distance.
Have
But
to
you see
get
a lot
up
of
in
these
the
other chosen
right
ones,
frame of
they'll come around
mind,
and start bombarding other people.
a
Oh,
right state of peace
they are
and love.
satanists, you know, they are demonic. Why are they doing this and why are they doing that? It's just
Bit of
because
learning
they do not understand your soul. It's the reason
before I
as to
get
why you
out of
see a
bed.
lot of these fights which are coming in sometime in the spiritual community is two people doing different things. One actually understands the other one, but the other one doesn't understand the other one where they're coming from. So that's why you see the difference between these chosen people and all souls. So that's how to tell the little differences I've told you guys. I've given you about 10 of them to know the differences between the chosen ones and all souls. So I'm going to
There you
take some time
go.
to read your comments, guys. I hope we have done something today. We have said something that makes a lot of sense and it can give you some enlightenment along your journey as well. So I'll take some time to read some comments before we close because I promised to end this video.
Dogs are comfortable, uncomfortable. Is that the end of his video?
Guys, I'm going to need
No, he's just reading
I
through
think
his
I'm going to
comments.
need a moderator because sometimes when the comments are going through, I cannot read everything at the same time.
So I'll continue listening. It's all
Yeah, but
learning,
well
isn't it?
done. May God add a blessing to your life always, man most high. We don't play games or compete. That is Joshua Anzalona. Spirituality cannot be bought. That is Michelle. You couldn't pay $1 million to stop someone. That is Joshua.
So they interrupt the learning by advertising stuff.
Wikipedia, I feel like I'm brave because I see other people caving in to abusers while I call them out. That's a comment from Wikipedia.
It's really annoying if you're trying to listen to
So
a
there's a comment from
text.
Michelle. That confirms it. I had no fear
But there you go.
when I watched Narcissist.
That's Google for you, isn't it? Go Ogle, which gives you a clue as to who runs
That's
that.
a comment from Michelle.
Go Ogle. Very Yiddish. I just saw that other tab flash again.
So
No, he's still talking.
Disagree with some of what you said, Denzo. So this has been
So it's probably bypassing the ads on
my
it
experience.
to.
So if there's something like for example, you guys know this is a live, you can agree or disagree. If you don't,
Vitamin A and childhood pneumonia was just flashed up by Dr. John Campbell, so that'll be on next after the elders finish talking. I'm just going to let the video keep recording until it's run out.
Because some original souls, no, I don't know.
Because it's all knowledge.
Because some original old souls can be misled
while I vibe
off their path.
After grounding.
Soul, you're talking about something that they call going back to sleep. A person who has been misled off their path, they can be temporarily put to sleep. They can actually go back to sleep. So there is some people who are awakened. They know this path. They know what they're here to do. They have their own way of doing things. They have understood what they're here for. And then sometimes they can temporarily go back to sleep. It can be sometimes due to society, due to their families, due to maybe sometimes relationship partners or things like that. They can be misled off their path, but an old soul, a real old soul, is going to come back to that path. Because a person
Right,
who has
an
awakened
emphysema
once
globule
can
came
also,
up,
can also
so
awaken
it
again.
had
So
to
if you have awakened once
go in the
and
ash.
you've been put back to sleep for some reasons, depending on society or whatever, what has been happening around you, you can always reawaken and get back
Like
on
I've
the
said,
path.
I've been on the
So if that's
binding
what you've been trying to win,
substance to
then
help it out, while they interfere with
I
that
think
process
also
as well,
had a good mind. That's Michelle.
just to try and maintain control. But they're just making me wait a while they do their research on the situation as well. But because it's all being legally done, they can't really do anything.
I'm cruising through them here very quickly. There are so many of them. I've not been reading everything.
But all it's doing is taking the situation out
We're
of
here to help those that cannot help themselves.
the hands of
Be the
organised
light to show them
stuff,
the way to finding their authentic self. So,
and back into the hands
what
of the
happens here? I
individual.
think I'll just put some highlight on that comment. What happens here is that there's a lot of unawakened chosen people on this planet as well.
So it's a
the
good thing.
awakened ones also, they help
And they should be
other
encouraging
chosen ones
it,
to discover themselves or to discover their path.
unless it's
So, for
them
example, there are
that's
some chosen ones who don't
causing
even know they
that
are
to
chosen.
be the
They don't even know
case,
they are chosen ones until
because
you come
it's
actually talk to them, start
allowing
teaching
them
them
to make
something,
money
and
from
something be able to awaken them
by
in some type of
confiscating
enterprise.
assets and that sort of shit.
So, like Michelle says, a very good comment. We are here to help those that cannot help themselves. Be the light and to show them the way to finding their authentic self. Thanks for that, Michelle. Joshua hates large crowds.
But those that have done the groundwork and the
There's been thousands of comments flowing,
building
but
it
I didn't
all
even
up
read all
from
of
the
them.
beginning,
Let's see.
now get rewarded for helping to calm the whole situation
So
down.
Odi says, where is it?
While they deal
That is,
with the serious
I've lost Odi's comment. Where
nature
is it?
of
Well, it's more
the flood
to it
that's
than that, because
encompassing
when you
the
put
UK at the
someone in an
moment
illusion,
with
it's like your
heavier
legs, so it will be
substances,
hard to wake up due to the fact that you can fall a victim to these thoughts.
which is only caused by greed and decadence anyway.
They always feel they are being left out and are entitled to be in others' lives.
There you go. They feel entitled to be in other people's lives, causing misery and
I would
death.
love
And
to be a moderator. Okay,
you see what I mean?
I will check on my channel. I can
It's the same the whole world over.
at least
Everyone's had
to be
enough of
certain
it.
I cannot go through the comments
They know the
at the
damage
same
and
time.
the problems it's causing.
Okay, that is from Michelle. The matrix is collapsing. Too much light shine on the ego's darkness.
There
People
you
cannot
go.
operate in light. Truth is coming out. This is a great time of awakening. That's from Michelle. Odi says arrogance is the catalyst of ego.
And when I say snow, I don't mean snow from the sky. Snow that's wrecking communities at the moment. Is the problem. The herb just heals from that, the same as it does from the opioid addictions. Has he finished now? No, he's still reading.
New and old tech says, one knock said she was an old soul.
One knock
I
said.
guess that it just as well could be another entity. I've heard about a knock telling me that she was spiritually awakened. And then there was all
Right
this
there,
spiritual
Hulkster.
stuff and everything.
Getting a
Then I
bit
was thinking,
warm, are you,
wow,
buddy?
this person is actually awakened.
You want to go out for a drink?
You know, sometimes these knocks.
Cheers for giving
You know,
me some
sometimes
leg room back,
the
though.
funny part, sometimes the knocks they hold me like
Woohoo!
energy. You know.
I can move my
I
toes
was doing a
again
video
now.
about the spiritual narcissist, and I told you that, ladies and gentlemen, the guys who are waking up, the ones who are awakened, the awakened souls, the narcissist is going to come into your life and they're going to tell you that they're awakened. Oh, no, awakened and everything, and then you're going to see that they're going to mirror everything about awakened people, what they do, they have mastered everything, they have studied everything. Only for you to find out later on that actually you're dealing with the spiritual narcissist. So that is very common to people who
There
is
you
waking
go.
up.
A spiritual narcissist who thinks that they're
Marvin,
awake because they use a stimulant
what's up, Marvin?
to make them go faster. You can use coffee for that.
All right, I'm going to post this video straight away from here, and I appreciate each and every one of you that has given us the comments in the chat, and everyone has watched and participated in this live. I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting me this entire time. I wish you the best of the Sunday. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Ladies and gentlemen, see you soon.
Yeah, blessings to that man. He talks a whole lot of sense.
This simple yet brilliant trick to heat your home in 90 seconds will save thousands of pounds on your heating bill this winter.
Right, let's get that one off of there. Carry on with what I said I was going to carry on with. So I've just got two tabs open, two YouTube tabs open. No Facebook interfering and messing about with the bandwidth. You want to go out that door, do you, Hulkster? You want to go for a drink, buddy? Come here. Can I do it that way? Yes, I can. There you go, boy. You go out and get a drink. Hulkster, go get a drink. There you go. That's what that's for. There you go, that's what he wanted. There's Dr. John Campbell. So we'll see what this elder's got to say. Which is a bit quiet, isn't it?
What's looking like a new outbreak of mycoplasma pneumonia in China that we discussed a couple of days ago.
Because I've turned one
The World
down.
Health Organization do not seem to be giving much advice in terms of optimising the immune system. I'm going to give some evidence today that shows that lack of vitamin A deficiency is very probably a big factor in this mycoplasmic pneumonia in China. And yes, I did say vitamin A deficiency. Now, why haven't we heard of this before? Well,
Oh, wrong one. Couldn't see it properly from that side of the camera. So straight away he's focusing on vitamin A, right? Let's just check that went across. Before I unpause it. Yep, that went across.
No, so to tell you the truth, I've only been learning about it for the past few weeks myself after the talk with Dr. David Anderson. And the reason we don't really know about
Feel
it
happy
that
now, Marnie and
in
Hulkster?
Western countries is
Good
because
boys.
vitamin A deficiency, especially
There you
adults
go.
in the West,
All good.
is very, very rare. In fact, I've never
Yeah.
seen a case.
Was they heating
Whereas
you
in
up too
children
much,
in
them
Asia,
girls,
it
was they?
is really quite common. We used to see a lot
That's
of
it.
children in Asia with vitamin A deficiency, causing problems with the eye, so-called Beto spots, where you get keratinization of the white part of the eye, and that can grow over the whole eye to cause complete blindness if you don't give the child vitamin A. So information on vitamin A and specific information today on the likelihood, in fact evidence from China, proper evidence from China, peer-reviewed literature, that shows that vitamin A deficiency is a big risk factor for severe mycoplasmic pneumonia. Mycoplasma being
Simple
a
solution
bacteria,
then,
quite a
isn't it?
simple bacteria.
Top up on
It's prokaryotic,
vitamins.
like all bacteria, simple
Like
organism.
I
It doesn't
said.
have a cell wall, so it's a very simple organism. And just before we get into that, I just want to look at the WHO recommendations for what they're saying here. So,
Yeah.
based on the available information,
There you go, I've
WHO
spotted the
recommends that people and children
COVID-19
follow measures to
put
reduce
in
the
there
risk of
already.
respiratory illness, which include recommended vaccines against influenza, COVID-19 and other respiratory pathogens as appropriate. Keeping
When you
distances
don't
from
need
people
them,
who are ill,
you just need
staying at home
vitamins.
when ill, getting tested and medical care as needed, wearing masks as appropriate, ensuring good ventilation and practicing regular hand washing. Sorry, I've drifted off there a minute. So why aren't we seeing
Video
advice here
cut
on
out soon,
optimising
so
natural immunity? Let's hope we don't need international organisations, new
I'm just letting it run
inventions,
out
new medications or genetic
before I post
codes
it.
or vaccines or help from philanthropists to solve this problem. Why don't we just optimise the immune system? Anyway, that's what we're talking about today. If you want to
Did I or did I not just say that?
more than welcome. Now I'm going to start with some interesting information on vitamin A first of all. Let's start off with that. Vitamin A is also called retinol. Now the reason it's called this is it's essential for the function of the retina at the back of the eye. Lack of it will cause blindness. First night blindness and then overall blindness potentially later on. And of course there's that famous story about the Second World War when the Allies invented radar and they were pinpointing targets at night, and they gave this myth to the Luftwaffe that it was because the British pilots were being fed on carrots. And the myth is, whether it's true or not, that they started feeding Luftwaffe pilots on huge amounts of carrots. Don't know whether that's true or not. It's a heck of a good story. Anyway, getting back to the science. Vitamin A has several important functions. Now, this is from the NHS itself, from their website, so we're pretty confident about this. Vitamin A has several functions, helping natural defence against illness and infection. So clearly, vitamin A is necessary to prevent against illness and infection. It's important for immunity, to keep the immune system working properly. So definitely important for immunity. So if people are short of vitamin A, that is going to impede their immune function. Thankfully, in Western countries, very few people are, certainly adults, and vitamin A supplements are often recommended against because too much vitamin A, fat-soluble vitamin, can cause toxicity. Remember, the fat-soluble vitamins ADEC, A, D, E and K. So potential for overdose on vitamin A. So certainly not advising supplementation with vitamin A unless it's recommended by a medical.
There you go. So find out what
I
vegetables
certainly wouldn't dream of taking fat-soluble vitamins apart from vitamin D.
produce
I
vitamin
have
A.
vision in dim light, so for sure, light blindness.
Add it to
Keeping
the
skin and
diet
lungs of some
and you're not
body systems
overdosing on it,
helpful.
because if
So
you overdose
what
on it, your body will
vitamin
just
A is
shit
needed
it
for
out,
here
won't it?
It's the integuments. So it's needed for healthy skin, but it's also needed for healthy respiratory mucosa, the lining of the nose and the
There you
respiratory
go.
tract, and the lining of the gastrointestinal tract. So children who are short of vitamin
You washing
A
your paws off,
are more
are you,
prone to
Marnie?
respiratory infections because of the reduced quality of the integument of the respiratory tract, and also more prone to gastrointestinal infections due to the suboptimal nature of the integument, the gastrointestinal mucosa.
Hence,
So strange the WHO didn't mention
A
that,
nice
but we're
casserole
mentioning it
with
now.
plenty of carrots in
And
it.
showing it's consistent with what
We'll
the
find
NHS
out
is
in a
teaching.
minute
Now,
what
sources of
ones are
vitamin A,
actually
and you'll see why we're not sure.
cheese,
Cheese,
eggs, oily fish.
eggs, good, I eat eggs, oily fish sometimes.
There you go. Bit of mackerel,
Fortified low-fat spreads, well, probably
milk and yogurt,
roasted onto
liver
low-fat spreads, but
and
that's
liver
on the NHS
pate.
website, that's just
So a bit
quote,
of
so
dog and
all of
wolf
that. Milk and
diet.
yogurt, liver and liver pate. Liver, animal liver is a very rich source of vitamin A. Very, very rich source. In fact, liver can cause toxicity. So the NHS is still recommending against liver in pregnant
So
women.
if you're suffering from
because of the
sleep
danger of
deprivation,
toxicity to the unborn baby developing in the uterus.
that's a good way of
And there's also
counteracting
famous
it
stories of
naturally,
Arctic
isn't it?
explorers
Whether you do it instinctually or whether you do it.
Their dogs, included the dog livers, and they were very rich in vitamin A, and some of these got a mystery illness. It was vitamin A toxicity. And the Inuit, the traditional people in the northern latitudes, they have always known not to eat polar bear liver, for example, because it's very, very high in vitamin A. It's essentially toxic to them because the polar bears eat the seals, which are already in the fish, so you get this bioamplification of the vitamin A, and
There you go.
you end up with far too much.
Knowledge of elders again coming through.
So if you're pregnant, you should avoid eating liver or liver products. That is a direct quote from the NHS website.
Oh, Marnie.
Excess vitamin A is toxic. Yes, it is.
You're
Fat-soluble
snuggling
vitamin.
up to her,
Because it's fat soluble,
Vampire.
if you take too much, it's difficult to excrete. Remember, ADEK, ADEK, fat soluble
You
vitamins.
like her in your pack, don't you?
Now, vitamin A deficiency. Now, this is strange. This is what I would call kind of older World Health Organization. So the World Health Organization, they still put up some really good stuff. And this is an example from that, but it is still live. It's on an alternative website, not this one we looked at the start, which is from this report here.
Which has an
About
agenda.
the upsurge of respiratory illness amongst children in northern China, which they do blame on the mycoplasma. So this is a separate thing from the WHO.
Different factions in the World Health Organisation, eh?
What are the consequences?
The globalists against the
vitamin A deficiency?
traditionalists.
So WHO themselves, night blindness is one of the first signs of vitamin A deficiency. Yes, correct. Its more severe forms, vitamin A deficiency contributes to blindness by making the cornea, the front part of the eye, very dry. In fact, it can form like keratin, like on the surface of your skin. Damaging the retina and cornea, according to the WHO, of course. Clear, basic medicine. An estimated 250,000 to 500,000 children who have vitamin A deficiency become blind every year. So we see that vitamin A deficiency is common in children, particularly in Asia, as far as I am aware. Certainly I've seen and treated it very often in Asia, giving out vitamin A as appropriate in Asia. Not recommending it at all on this video, but that is a common problem in
So I'm carefully
Asia,
logging
and toxic in our
what
houses.
I'm watching for
Terrible
those that are
environment.
monitoring
Up to
me
500,000
to
children can be blind
see
through lack of vitamin A
how
from
I'm
poor
using
diet.
my internet.
And as I say, the first thing you say is these beto spots on the eyes. And
To
they go
save
over the
them,
front.
assuming.
The vitamin A, they simply go away. Quite a beautiful thing to do in children that are deficient. So appalling that this is still happening. Half of them die within 12 months of losing their sight. Terrible. Vitamin A deficiency is associated with morbidity and mortality from common childhood
Morbidity.
infections. So here, the WHO is saying it in another place here. Causes sickness and death.
So junk food fatties
Vitamin A deficiency also contributes to
are
low
responsible for it.
mother's mortality.
Not feeding
Other
their
poor
children
outcomes of pregnancy
properly.
and lactation also diminishes the ability to fight infections. Now, actually, I don't pretend to know the full details here. I'm pretty sure it's in David Anderson's book. I'll put a link to that. But it works in a similar way, or it works with vitamin D to promote immunity in all the immune cells of the body, as far as I know, and it has this additional effect on the respiratory mucosa and the gastrointestinal mucosa. So very important. We just don't really have a problem with it. We really don't see it because vitamin A deficiency is so rare. Essentially, I've never seen it in Western countries, but as we say, in children in Asia, it is quite common. and that's why it could
It's quite
be a
common
big
in this
factor
country
in
as
this
well,
Chinese
because, like I
outbreak.
said,
Now, this mycoplasma pneumonia it has been reported
chicken
in China,
nuggets
Denmark,
dinner instead of
France,
a
Netherlands.
nice good old
I
casserole
don't know
with
the
plenty of
veracity these
vitamins in
reports
it.
yet, but what I'm hoping is that we also know that antibiotic resistance in mycoplasmic pneumonia is a big problem in China. Huge amount of antibiotic resistance. I'm just hoping the antibiotic
Oh,
resistance
you
form is not
snuggling up
spreading around
under
the
my
world, but
armpit, are
simply,
you?
at least I don't
Oh,
know
you
that.
baby
We are
boy.
keeping an eye on this. Involving
You're doing some proper cleaning on them
the
front
concerning thing
paws,
is, of
aren't
course,
you?
this is affecting children, unlike COVID.
I'll check them
This
later
is
to make sure they
primarily
don't need a
affecting
grinder.
children in the
Okay.
Chinese situation at the moment. And
You
we don't
carry
want
on though,
that
because
all around the world.
I'm going to go and put some dinner on. I'm getting hungry now, sitting here absorbing all this knowledge. Kitchen's been cold all
Even
night,
mild
so...
subclinical deficiency
Oh,
can be a problem.
excuse
because it
me,
increases children's risk
doggies.
for respiratory and
Ouch.
diarrheal infections. So again, respiratory mucosa and the gastrointestinal mucosa don't work properly, don't function properly in the absence of vitamin A.
In the absence of vitamin A, I keep forgetting I put the catch on the door to stop the dogs getting in there. Gonna have to do that to all the yeah, that'll do. It's been cold in here, so it didn't need to go in the fridge. Let's just pop that on 180, just to reheat it.
Cheese, eggs, oily fish.
Cheese, eggs and oily fish, eh? We got any oily fish about? We certainly have. So that's why he buys it. I think we might even put some casserole vegetables. Casserole vegetables, mushrooms, sliced onions, sliced apple. Where is it? Where's it hidden? There it is. We'll have some of that today. All the vegetables in the top one now. Let's put the other bag of that in there. With the apples. Now I've got used to making crumbles. So we've got diced swede, julienne carrots, green beans, some sausage. It's getting a bit chilly in here. Let's get some of that out. Right, what do I need for that? I need one of them. I can wash up in a minute when that's defrosted, and then when the casserole's reheated. Let's get the old washing up done then. That can go in the sink out the way, that can go down the sink out the way. Bear with me a sec, sciatic nerve going issue. better. Where's my washer? Liquid, we're getting very low on that now. So using sparingly. Might as well lob some cutlery in with that as well. There you go, that lot can go in there and all. Gets that done, doesn't it? In there as well, right. A bit more cutlery in there. Let's chuck a new spoon in there as well. That'll do. Nice and easy. Crumble mix over some sliced rhubarb. Let's get out of this cold kitchen. Just check that. The heating's off. Oh, it's dipped down to 15 degrees. That's why that's like that then. But we got a bit of dog heating going on, so we're all right.
Particularly vital for gaseous exchange.
And the video's still recording.
This research was actually done in Beijing, where coincidentally this outbreak occurs.
Ugh.
So particularly surprising. So presumably in its library, WHO have got a copy of this paper.
Oh,
A particular deficiency.
let's get
this
back in my warm
Mycoplasma pneumoniae
doggy
disease
bed.
identified in 2020.
Watch your willow, baby boo. Watch ya.
Specific area. They don't mention
Is that food smell on my fingers, is it? Is that food smell on my fingers?
Explain that, but
Ah,
right, so
look at
this
you
was done in
with
Beijing,
your
where this
legs
outbreak
all
of
up akimbo.
mycoplasma currently is.
Settle down then.
122 children that got sick.
There's a
15
good
years
girl.
old. It doesn't sound like many for a research study, but these are all children that got sick, so it's a pretty good sample from that site. 52 had severe
Animal flow.
mycoplasma pneumonia.
The song pops into my head every time I make that.
70
Animal
severe.
flow.
So they still had
Hey,
pneumonia, but
willow.
they weren't as ill. So 52 were very ill. 70 were infected with pneumonia.
Want a bit of
Still had
light on the
pneumonia, so
situation, do
infection
you,
was still in the
dogs?
tissue of the lung. That's probably
Yay!
the simplest definition of pneumonia. Infection in the tissue of
Good
the lung.
afternoon.
Opposed to bronchitis, which would be the upper.
You want to photobomb the situation, do you, Marnie? Do you, boy? Yep, you're right up against my camera cradle.
Now, very interesting study. Serum levels of vitamin A, D, and E were measured.
Sorry for shining it in your eyes there,
Correlated
Lola.
with severe.
How you doing,
mycoplasma
girlie?
And
Had your
non-severe
little scrap
mycoplasma
with Marnie and
severe.
Hulkster this
Now,
morning, did you?
What did they find?
Hey?
They
It was only staffy play, weren't it,
the
buddy?
age was older in the severe
Yeah.
cases.
You like a
the
gnaw
severe
on a leg
children
in the
and
morning,
the
don't you?
non-severe. So the age was older in the severe ones. So
Yes.
these ones had the more severe
Normal
disease.
behaviour, isn't it, girl?
2 years as opposed to 4.0
Yes.
years. So that is interesting. The age
That's
was
your
older in the
pre-breakfast
severe
scrap, isn't it?
It's like these children.
Are you getting grey hairs round your mush? Oh, old lady.
Right. Now, vitamin A deficiency was present in both the non-severe mycoplasma pneumonia and the severe mycoplasma pneumonia. So, both had vitamin A deficiency. Vitamin A levels were significantly lower in the severe ones than the non-severe.
Happy dog pack,
So what we
yeah.
see is the children with the most severe form of the Mycoplasma pneumonia. The children with the most severe forms of the pneumonia had the lowest levels of vitamin A.
Oh, did they now?
Children with the higher levels.
So
of
it's
vitamin
not a
A
mystery
had the
illness
less
anymore
severe
then?
form.
So no panic,
Lower vitamin A
no
levels,
need to force through
more
mask
severe
mandates or
higher
lockdowns
vitamin
then.
A levels, less severe disease.
So that's
And
the
these were
World
very
Health
statistically
Organisation
significant
false
when
flag.
they did the statistical analysis of this.
Had all its energy taken out of it
And they
in
were the vitamin
advance.
A levels that they
How about
found
that?
with error bars, they're just rough figures.
Now, if
Vitamin A
only
deficiency
they'd done
was
that
defined
with
at less than,
COVID,
0.2
instead of
milligrams
scaring
per
everyone to
litre.
death.
So we see here, well, these are less. That's well
But
less
it was
than
always about the
0.2,
fear
isn't
and taking away the
So even
civil
these children
liberties
here,
instead, wasn't
it?
it?
0.19
That's what they
with
was
the less
really
severe
up to.
disease,
While
still
rolling
had
out their
deficiency. They were still below
5G
0.2.
grid to control
So
the
what we see is the
population
majority of children with
during
non-severe and
said
severe
lockdown,
Mycoplasma pneumonia had vitamin A deficiency.
because
The
it's
children with the lowest
military
levels of vitamin
grade
A had the most
weapons
severe Mycoplasma
technology. All they got to do is
disease.
flick a switch or
It's a
change the
pretty clear
frequency, it
correlation.
becomes a weapon against the population,
Subclinical deficiency was 0.2 to 0.3. Normal range was 0.3
causing
to
cancers
0.7.
and all sorts of
So
shit.
we see normal range 0.3 to 0.7, and the people with the most
Should
severe form of the disease,
the people
disease
ever
under
rise up.
0.15, we can see that the levels were really quite.
That's what they've been up to.
That's
Those
5 times lower,
traitors.
approximately. So,
Because it's our
quite,
country, not theirs.
interesting correlation there, and of course, it doesn't necessarily tell you which causes it, but we know that vitamin A is so important in immunity anyway. You would surely think it's something well worth thinking about. Right, so children with lower vitamin A
All done on
levels suffered
government
more severe
contracts through the
infections.
local councils. So when you hear
Children with
a
lower
speech
vitamin A
from
levels suffered
London
more severe infections.
saying,
Vitamin E
may
and D
God
levels
bless
were
your
also measured in
councils,
children with severe samples.
well, no,
These are the
actually,
figures
they're
that
not.
they found,
They're not
the
being
levels
blessed
they
by that.
found.
They're being blessed by your system.
But both the severe and the non-severe did
That's
not
what
show
you got to
deficiency of
change.
vitamins E and
Because
D.
the public
So
are
this is the
working
key
it
thing
all
here.
out.
So they looked at vitamins.
And you lot are banging trouble because they ain't going to put
found
up with
that,
it for much
There
longer.
was a lot of children deficient in vitamin A, and the children that were more deficient had
So
more
cheers to
severe
Barry
disease.
Trower,
And the children with suboptimal
who helped
levels
design
were
all
more likely
those
to get
systems,
even non-severe pneumonia.
for releasing the
In this
burden off
population, we
himself
didn't
on
find
his
a lot of deficiency in
last
vitamin
stage in
E
life.
and vitamin D. So it's vitamin A
Oh, look at
which seems to be the
Lola.
problem in this particular
She's
population.
actually washing
As I
it.
say, I've seen this commonly in
She's washing Willow's ears now,
I've seen
like
vitamin A deficiency in
Hulkster
children in
has taught
India,
her to do.
several parts of India, Cambodia, Thailand.
So now she's
common
doing the
in
motherly
Asia.
role,
Don't know specifically about China.
doing
haven't
that
worked
herself, because I said,
there. But this,
well,
this study clearly showed from the Beijing
you should be
doctors
learning
and
off the
scientists that it
boys
is a
what
big
you
problem.
didn't learn off your own mother, Lola.
Vitamin A deficiency odds ratio was heck.
Because
it's
that knowledge
that's like 1,000
got
times
missed
more likely
out
to get
in your
really sick.
breeding line, didn't it?
Up to about a third
And
more
you
likely to
didn't
get
do
really
that
sick.
for
So
your own
even if it's
daughter.
only like a third
Now
more
she's
likely to
actually
get sick
doing
with
it
optimised
because
vitamin A
Hulkster taught her
levels,
to do it.
that's well
So there you
worth
go.
doing. And it could be that
Improving
this is due to the small sample size that we've got
dog
these
knowledge
error
within
bars.
the pack.
So it could be that children with high vitamin A levels are 1,000 times, or adequate vitamin A levels,
Yeah.
are 1,000 times less likely to get disease, or 3 times less likely to get disease.
And now
But even
she's
if it's
happily
anywhere
doing
between
it.
those, hey, that is worth having.
Good
And let's note
girl,
here that this is
Lola.
very unlikely
Good
P
girl.
is 0.0,
See, you're learning
very
rather than
unlikely
doing the
to,
teethy thing all the
chance,
time, but trying to
this
be
result
mother
has by
hen.
chance.
Even you're learning.
This is protecting against
Well done,
severe,
girl.
Mycoplasma pneumonia. Deficiency of vitamin
If
A.
only the
vitamin A
human
deficiency
mothers
under
could do
6
the
years
same.
now. Under the age of 6, 85% of children will deficient.
Shh, we shouldn't say that because we're
Over the age
misogynist
of
for
6,
saying such
62.5%
things.
of children. So
That women can't
this
do
area
mothering
really-
properly. How dare we, men?
they found the children coming in.
Sort
who were
yourselves
ill.
out then.
85% of these children. were
Blokes
short
won't
of,
have to say
vitamin
things
A.
like that, will they?
Between 62.5 and 85% short of vitamin A.
Stop sitting on your computers,
So we've got all these factors. We know that
causing
vitamin A is
problems,
necessary for mucosal immunity.
gossiping.
We know that vitamin A is necessary for the normal
Being
functioning,
attention
working
seekers.
with vitamin D in the normal function of, as far as I know, all the immune cells in the body, but certainly the T lymphocytes, as we look at that specific research study on. So we know it's necessary for mucosal immunity. We know it's necessary for the
Causing problems
the white
between
blood cells, the
fathers
immune
and
cells,
children.
and other cells. We know that up to 85% of children were deficient. The children that were most
You got
deficient
that much
had
time
the
on
most
your
severe
hands?
disease. It's a
Go
pretty
clean your
compelling
fucking
case
houses
for
up.
testing the vitamin A levels in these children and optimising.
Go feed your
vitamin A
children.
levels in
Look
these
after your
children.
children. Keep them
The
safe.
authors do really seem to firmly believe this. Vitamin A supplement could reduce the incidence of severe mycoplasmic pneumonia. This is.
And if there's any
the
bullying,
authors can't
get
say
out
this
the
based
fucking
on the
house
study
and
that
go
they
and sort
did.
it out.
This is
And then
based
you'll
on
find
their
the men
reading
that
of the
back you up
adjacent literature
over it.
and putting everything together as we have
Instead
just
of whining about it.
So really very likely. Now the conclusions that the authors come to here,
Go and bully the bullying mothers.
and again I think it goes without saying, isn't it, that vitamin A is remarkably cheap. Remarkably cheap. New drugs perhaps to treat mycoplasma pneumonia could end up being expensive. I mean, maybe not, but who knows? Expensive drugs could be invented. Could be. Never know. Vitamin A.
So they're sitting hiding in your kitchens.
Right, conclusions of the authors. Vitamin A deficiency is associated with severe mycoplasma pneumonia and more likely present in the younger children.
Go walk your dog. It isn't your
I
dog
know there's some conflict here with the age levels.
that you're
but
holding over someone's
just go
head.
with this general conclusion, it does make sense. Therefore, it's important to monitor the supplement vitamin A in mycoplasma.
And if you can't handle doing that
pneumonia,
because
pneumonia patients.
they're trying to
Just
intimidate
clarify
you.
that. This is what the authors are saying. Therefore, it is important to monitor and supplement
get a bigger
vitamin
dog
A
instead of a fucking cat, because a cat ain't going to sort it out for you, is it?
patients, these children, and that seems to be what's causing this outbreak in China at the
They just
moment.
represent your lazy pussy arse
Now,
that don't
this
give a
is
shit about no
potentially
one.
good news for Western countries, because although there has been
Just saying.
mycoplasma pneumonia increases in the amount we're seeing in China, Denmark, France, Netherlands, possibly in Ohio. There's more of
Oh,
that there.
you washing her back now, are ya?
In Western countries, adults and children are much less likely to be vitamin A deficient.
So the love
It
she
does show the
showed you,
importance
you're giving
of,
back to her now by
monitoring
cleaning her
and,
up, are ya?
Good
girl, Lola.
We need to do much
And
more
Willow.
nutritional screening than we are doing. We've talked about this in the context
Yeah.
of vitamin D, but it now looks like it's
That's
also
how
the case for vitamin A.
mothers and daughters
Basic
teach each
nutritional,
other.
talking about what diet children eat and talking to mothers about diet, and as long as the food's available, could potentially, well, I would have thought essentially completely eliminate vitamin A deficiency. So a very obvious thing to do. Therefore, it's important to monitor and supplement vitamin A in mycoplasma pneumonia patients. So, problem in Asia.
Crikey,
Could this spread to
hour and a
areas
half
of the
video
world,
and it's still
Pakistan,
going.
Bangladesh,
So I'll just let it run
India,
its course, put it up.
Southeast Asia, where vitamin A deficiency is more common in children? Well, that's a real possibility. Is it likely to be a particularly big problem in Western countries?
Look at her
where
getting
vitamin A
involved in
deficiency
it
is
now.
not
She's
there?
really
It will
going
go
for it, isn't she?
significantly less so.
She wasn't
The
like
other
that
variable
before.
here, of course, is
She
there
was just
some new
wanting to
virus
rule
in
the
China?
roost sort of thing, and
Now, of course, the
now she's
mycoplasma
getting all
is not a
motherly.
virus, it is a bacterium.
Good
So
girl,
what am I
Lola.
talking about? Well, any viral infection of the respiratory passages is going to potentially predispose to secondary
Sometimes it
bacterial
takes a
infection.
boy or a male dog to
Is there
point
some
out the
new
obvious
virus
to the
going
mother,
around in China,
so the mother can become a
spreading
better mother.
rapidly, predisposing
If she
many
hasn't been
children
taught correctly by her mother.
mycoplasma pneumonia,
If you see what I mean.
exacerbated by the
That's how you
deficiency
fix a
in
problem
vitamin
in humans as well.
If there is a new virus, of course, that virus could potentially spread, causing respiratory infections around the world and therefore increasing the probability of a post-viral bacterial.
And I say that
respiratory,
in a
infections.
kind way because it took me a long time to get the knowledge what I
Just a few
needed
more
to teach
details
my
from
male
the
relatives
paper.
properly from my father.
Mycoplasma pneumoniae frequently causes
Because
community-acquired pneumonia in children.
the mother decided
And this
to
occurs throughout the year.
make sure
So very often we don't have the
that I was
seasonality.
kept
That's
from
why the
that knowledge
seasonality in China
to
could be
keep me
secondary
close
and
and controllable,
That's quite possible.
meaning there was
Can
always
be
something
transmitted by
missing in my
droplets,
life that I
presumably
couldn't
by
put my
aerosols.
finger on.
Children of all ages are susceptible,
Once it
particularly
was
if
all
they're short
worked
of
out, it
vitamin
was easy
A.
going from then.
In recent years, the number of children with mycoplasma pneumonia has increased, so it's becoming more common, at least in China. And they have a prolonged course of the disease. So what these authors are saying is, there's more of this around in China, more of it, and the children are getting